As a reminder to those joining us remotely, please use the raise hand function if you would like to ask a question. All right, we are now joined by student athletes from the University of Dayton. We have sophomore Makairo Cook and senior Kyla Whitehead. So if you have a question, please raise your hand and state your name and affiliation. So we'll start with questions.
Tom Crochelle, Des Moines Capital. I'm interested, Makara, about how Waylon, what she does, not just with the ball, but what she does without the ball. And being as someone who's kind of out there being a traffic cop like you are, I wonder if you could just talk about her court awareness.
Could you restate the question, please?
Well, let me put it to you this way. You guys move really well without the ball. A lot of people are talking about how great you guys shot, especially in the first half, but you guys really move without the ball. Now you're gonna play a team that likes to get out like you guys do. What's your view of your next opponent in that light?
My next view on our opponent would be that we just have to do what we do and stay true to ourselves. And to your last question, too, about Aaron, I feel like just all of our chemistry and stuff on the court makes things a lot easier. We know where each other's going to be most of the times, and we just kind of do what Dayton does.
Kyla, you're not one who takes a lot of shots, so how do you approach your role in a game, knowing that you have to do other things?
I guess my biggest focus would be to focus on the things that you can't necessarily control, and being the best at it, or if we have an emphasis on one game, just trying to do that. Just doing whatever it takes, doing whatever the team needs me to do. We got Aaron, Makaira, Jenna, who can put up 20, 30 points a game. And I can too, don't get me wrong, but when other things are needed in other areas, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, you had 8 rebounds last night. I think that was a big factor to, keep them off the boards.
Yes, we knew that number 24 was a big rebounder, and then we know that coming into this next game, we have a lot of big rebounders as well. So it's going to be the same importance put on rebounding again. So I and the rest of my team will do the same thing that we did yesterday.
Makaira, you just said that we do what Dayton does. For people who haven't seen Dayton play, could you say, when you say, well, we do what we do, if someone said, well, what is that? What is it that Dayton does? What's their brand on the floor?
For starters, defense. That's where we hang our hat at the most. Defense is our most important thing. And once we take care of that, we already know the offense is going to come. Like, everybody on the team from top to bottom can score whenever they want. So we know that when we take care of our defense, like, we're going to get any shot we want versus whoever.
Kyla, obviously, if you shoot tomorrow night like you did last night, you're going to have a heck of a chance of winning. But if you don't shoot that well, what else do you guys have to do, to make up for that?
And Kyla, sorry, before you answer, if I could get you a bit closer to the mics. Thank you, just so they can hear you. Thanks.
One thing that we have to focus on is definitely taking care of the ball. We know that Georgia is a really handy team. We know that they have a little bit of size, so we have to box them out. A lot of them like to crash. And again, like Makaira said, just a lot of stuff on the defensive end. That's what'll get it done at the end of the day.
All right, for both student athletes, after such an exciting game last night, how hard is it to kind of come back down to earth and kind of get ready and focus on another opponent tomorrow?
Let's start with Makaira, and then we'll go to Kyla.
Honestly, I feel like we've been, trained for it. Like, we're used to handling business one day and getting right back focused and doing what we have to do the next. So it's just a constant staying focused mode.
I have to agree. I think the schedule that our coaches put in place for us this year kind set us up for where we're at right now. And it's just another day for us, and you just gotta keep your best foot forward and keep going.
Do we have any more questions for the student athletes in person? Okay, we'll now move to remote. If you have a question, please use the raise hand function. We'll start with Brandon Sudge.
Hey, this is Brandon Sudge of the Dayton Daily News. I mean, after getting some chance to take a look at Georgia, what type of things have you guys seen out of them, and how do you guys feel about the matchup? Either of y'all can hop on this.
Let's start with Kyla and then go to Makaira, please.
For the most part, we believe that it's a fairly good matchup for us. They have true bigs, they have good guards, and we have true bigs, and we have good guards. So at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to who works harder for 40 minutes and who executes and who is more focused. But other than that, the matchups are there. We just got to go out there and handle business.
I would say exactly what Kyla said. Who wants it more? Who's going to play harder? Who's going to get the extra balls? And who the ball's going to fall in the net for more.
Do we have any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you so much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa All right. We're now joined by Dayton head coach Shauna Green. Coach Green, if you would like to start with an opening statement, then we'll take questions.
Obviously, we're just really excited to be playing and to, have the performance that we did last night. It was just after really looking at it and having some time to reflect on it, just so proud of our kids and how they came. And that's what we've been capable of playing, and to see it all come together in the first round or the first four of the NCAA tournament was special. And every single person did their job on both ends of the floor, and it was just a great team win, and it was special to get every single person on our bench into the game to play, so they can say they played in an NCAA tournament game. And we know obviously Georgia is going to be a tough task, but we'll be prepared, and I know our kids will come out and compete and leave it all on the floor.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach.
Tom Purcell. Coach, do you take stock that you once were this Clinton River Queen player, okay? A prep kid going to a high school on the Mississippi River, and now you were coaching a team that was up 25 in the NCAA championships opening round. Did you, when you were 18, have any inkling that you wanted to coach at this level? And what do you think looking back?
Yeah, at 18, I don't think I was thinking much ahead of how to survive as an 18-year-old. So no, I didn't. And to tell you the truth, I didn't really have a vision to coach until the end of my college career, when I saw the end of the light coming in my career. And then I knew I had to be involved in the game. I could not imagine my life without it. And yeah, it is. If I think about it, and if you do sit and reflect on it, it's pretty cool to, I never would have imagined being able to come back here and be the head coach at a university like Dayton, and being able to coach in the NCAA tournament, at Iowa State. And growing up, knowing the tradition with Iowa, and as well as Iowa State women's basketball, I watched it. You watch it, and you know the success that they've all had, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and it's cool too because our different people in our program have ties to Iowa. Our strength coach is from Iowa. Our administrative assistant is an old Iowa State player. So there was a lot of ties. So when Ames, Iowa showed up, it was special.
One other question. Watching last night, Waylon, when she's in there, it's pretty apparent that she not only knows where she's supposed to be, she knows where everybody else is supposed to be. And she does a lot of communicating on the court. Is that an accurate observation?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that just comes with having a veteran team. Those guys have played together. The super seniors have played together now 4 years. You add Makaira and T in there, are only sophomores, and they grew a lot from last year into this year in terms of their chemistry and knowing and playing together. So I think some of that is just the experience of playing together. And then also they understand the game. They're high IQ kids. And they work really, really hard. And that's where I was so happy for Erin, because you will not find a harder worker out there. She is in the gym nonstop. There's times we had to tell her to get out of the gym because, especially when she was going through, the rough patch that she had that you guys alluded to last night. She was in the gym making 300 threes a day, going to practice, nonstop. Like, you just will not find a harder worker. And if anyone deserved to go off last night, it was Erin Whalen. And I kept saying, she's due, it's coming. And that was probably the first time in a long time that Erin and Jenna have both went off on the same night. And we knew as a staff and the people around our program, we said, if they can both be on in one night, it's going to be scary. And you saw that last night, and you saw the results. So now we're just praying to have them happen again tomorrow night. So.
I mean, you played a terrific game last night. I think you even said in the press conference maybe your best 40 minutes. of the year, you're on that high, you want to celebrate a little bit, but then all of a sudden, you got to get ready for another game. And to me, that seems like a really challenging thing to have to do. And so how do you handle that?
You know, yesterday, I always tell our kids, you know, we got to enjoy the wins, even throughout the whole season. I think in this business, and especially even coaches, you know, and we're used to winning, and we're expected to win. So it's not like you're going to see us going crazy after wins and acting like, you know, we won the national championship after one win. But I also want our kids to appreciate and celebrate and be proud of what they've accomplished. So I always say, win or lose, you enjoy it, or you are miserable about it for that night, and then we're right back to it. And we've just had that approach since I've been here. So like Makira said, it's not something we gotta, you know, get them down, or I think first off, you use the momentum. That's a big part of the NCAA tournament. You use the momentum from that game. So we're gonna ride that, but then we also, our kids are focused. They came into film today, and it's the next day, and we're trying to just go 1-0 today, and then we try to go 1-0 tomorrow, and we're just very process driven. That's just how we go about our daily business. So it really, we don't have to do anything different because it's how we approach every single day.
A lot of times the questions this time of year are, well, what does this so-and-so team do to challenge, what a particular challenge? I'm going to take that the other way. What do you feel like you able to do that's going to challenge Georgia?
I think what we always do, and I think that's our defense. It's our defense and it's our rebounding. I said it last night. You know, I know what we've done. I tell our team this all the time. Like, you can't just be a 10th, you know, the 10th best defensive team field goal percentage in the country just by having a couple good defensive games. It's what we do. It's what we're about. It's what we pride ourselves on. So if we bring that, which we've done the majority of the games this year, if we can defend at that level and follow and execute the game plan, and then be able to rebound at the level that we want to, then we're going to be usually in positions to win games. And if we can make a few shots like you saw last night, then we'll be okay. But it starts and ends with our defense and our rebounding, and then it goes from there. So I think that's what we can bring. I think, you know, we're going to be ready. We're going to be prepared for what they do. We're going to make it hard for them to score. And then they got to deal, like, we have a lot of players that can do different things. We have a lot of people, you know, 1 through 5 on the floor at all times. 4 of those 5 usually can shoot the 3, definitely 3 out of them. And, you know, they are able to score off the bounce and score off all 3 levels. And then we have a big kid inside, too. We have a couple big kids inside that I think can match, you know, Stady inside against Georgia. So I think, you know, we got to deal and handle a lot of them because they're really good. But they're also preparing and doing scouting report of what they need to do, you know, to handle us. So it's going to come down at this, like it does all the time at this year. Who's going to execute at a higher level? Who's going to win 50-50 balls? And then does the ball go in or not? And it sounds so, you know, easy, but sometimes that ball doesn't go in, and the ball has to go in. So, but you got to create some of that luck, and that's through hard work.
So if the ball doesn't go into you like it did last night, what do you have to do then? Obviously, it comes back to defense and rebounding again.
It comes back to defense and rebounding, but we'll have to manufacture some points, and that's what we're used to. Last night, you know, we ran our stuff, and we executed and ran our sets at an elite level, but we also got a ton just out of transition and out of our Phoenix transition, which is how we ideally want to play. I know we're not going to get all those open looks against Georgia as we did against DePaul. So, you know, we can grind it out. That's what we're used to doing. We're used to grinding games out. We're used to, you know, being low scoring. We're not used to scoring 88 points a night. We've only done that, you know, a couple times in the past couple of years. So that's not, you know, that's not who we are. I will take it. I would love for it to be who we are more consistently, but, you know, we're used to the style. In our conference, it's a defensive-minded conference. We got to grind games out. There's games, you know, in the high 40s, low 50s. So we can play any style, and so we'll just manufacture. We'll be more deliberate in our half-court offense and you know, pound the ball inside, run sets to get our shooters, you know, open shots, because some of it won't happen as organically as it happened last night.
Emily Durr, what was she able to tell you about what it was like? Did she talk about the arena? Did she talk about where it'd be good to go eat? Anything like that?
she gave us all the scoop on Ames. So no, she's been great, and I can tell she's been super happy to be back, and it was cool for her she hasn't been back here since and hasn't been in Hilton since she played, and so it's awesome to see her eyes kind of light up when she comes back in, and she told us it was a hard place to shoot. I told her not to tell her players that, and she said she didn't. So whatever it was, it worked for us. Like I said, a lot of my family, a couple of my aunt and uncle live in Ames and are big Cyclone fans and come to all the women's games. And I told them last night we caught a little bit of that Hilton magic, and it was nice to have. So I'll take it another game, and hopefully we can catch some of it tomorrow night.
Coach, you were part of that Elite Eight run, I believe, in 2013 or 15. Now, you got hot at the right moment. Do you see any of that makeup of that team, the magic, the drive, in this year's team?
I told them that story after we lost the championship game, and I said, you guys, it was kind of the same feeling as when that 2015, they were devastated that they didn't win that conference tournament championship. And I remember those practices, and they didn't even really, they were just so devastated. And I'm like, but they came into the NCAA tournament and they got hot at the right time, and we caught that confidence. And I'm like, so I've been telling them that story and getting them to believe that if you can just get in, and I tell our recruits this all the time, if you can just get into the NCAA tournament, you do not know what can happen. It's all about matchups. It's all about hitting shots at the right time. It can all come together. So I want them to have that belief, and I think that having a true story about it can kind of help them believe it.
Any more in-person questions for Coach Green? Okay, we'll move remote, and we'll start with Brandon Sudge.
Hey, Coach. It's Brendan Such here with the Dayton Daily News. So in terms of Georgia, I'll just kind of ask you what I asked you last night, but after being able to watch a little bit of tape, how do you feel about the matchup? It's two defensive-oriented teams, two teams with actual post. So yeah, just how you feel about the matchup?
I like the matchup. I think that we have, like I said, we have athletic guards that can guard their guards. We got a couple big kids that can match up with Stady down low. They're athletic, they're long, they're going to get up and defend. And the biggest thing for me, one of the biggest keys is taking care of the basketball. We have got to take care of the basketball. They have 9 steals a game, force 18 turnovers a game, and so we gotta be able to handle their pressure. We did an unbelievable job of that last night with I believe only 8 or 9 turnovers, and we have to be able to do that tomorrow if we want a shot to win. It's our rebounding, and it's our taking care of the basketball.
Do we have any more questions for Coach? Thanks, Coach Green, and good luck.
Thank you.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at